Imagine me and you. I do. Me talking about the movie together and you watching this video trying to determine if you should go see it in the theaters. Well, will seeing this movie in the theaters and watching this review make us happy together? Let's stop the stupid intro and get into the review. Let's go. Welcome back to the Cinefanatics. My name is Robert Adams, and today I've got a spoiler-free review for Together. This is a 2025 movie starring Dave Franco and Alison Brie, and I'm going to say right off the bat, I love this movie. This is quite possibly one of my favorite movies of the entire year so far. I had such a blast with this, but I want to get into like some of the nitty-gritty. I wish I had more people around me that love horror so I could sit here and just talk about this all day long. Unfortunately, I'm kind of light on the horror friends, but I love this movie and I want to share like all thoughts, feelings, and opinions. So thank you for being here. Make sure you like, subscribe, you know the YouTube things. I don't want to dig into that. We'll talk about it later, but let's talk about the movie. This is the fifth movie that Dave Franco and Alison Brie have done together, and that's after, what was it, like Disaster Artist, Little Hours, The Rental, and Somebody That I Used to Know. Sorry, I know. You were thinking it anyways, might as well just play it and quickly get it out of your head and toss it away. But this movie was a lot of fun. Just before I dive into anything, I want to gush about this movie so much. This is a movie that, like, from the trailers and from the premise, you kind of get an idea of what's going on in this movie. And if you're a horror fan, specifically a body horror fan like me, the premise of this movie is something that would make your ears like open up and you're like, what is this? What am I gonna go see? Cause I'm gonna be there like opening night, or if I can get an advanced screening or whatever. And I missed the premiere at South by Southwest. A lot of my like critic friends went and they all said it was fantastic. Now I get to watch it and I was like, oh, it's just so good. Such a fun movie. I believe this is director Michael Shanks. This is his directorial debut after doing like TV shows and short films. I believe he also primarily has a background in special effects, visual effects. So this is a type of movie that you would want to see someone with those credentials do. Just put that experience, put that talent in the forefront of your movie, and I think he does it very well. Sure, there's some of the special effects in this movie that look a little cheesy. Again, if you know what this movie is about, it's basically a couple that find themselves in a precarious predicament. I can never say that word. Predicament. I don't know. I can't say those words. Plus, I'm Southern, and that always draws out the Southern accent in these videos. But it puts them in a very awkward situation that they seem to be wanting to merge together to become one, and it's knowing that premise, and then also, again, you know this is a body horror, so you inevitably, another word I can't say, know what's going to happen throughout the course of this movie, or what is trying to happen throughout the course of this movie. Yes, this movie is very predictable, but what makes this movie good is this is like what I would say is the bare bones example of it's not about the end of the movie or what happens at the end. It's about the journey. So yes, this movie's very predictable, but it's how you got there. The interactions and the stuff they go through along the way is so much fun. I had such a blast with this. There's a lot of humor in this movie that is... a lot of it comes out of nowhere. It's subtle. It can be like straight to the point, but it like comes off of nowhere. They're in a very dangerous situation, and like Dave Franco may crack a joke, and you're like, that's really good. The other thing that I find that I really like about the humor in this movie is the humor comes from a lot of sources outside of the dialogue. For example, music in this movie is fantastic. The composer, the score is good, but one of the key elements to this movie, Alison Brie's character, Millie, is a big fan of Spice Girls. And there is a very specific scene in this movie that is set to Spice Girls. And the fun is sitting there, like, when this scene popped up, I was like, what song fits the tone of this scene? What song could they possibly pick? I'm sitting in a movie theater, enjoying a movie, and I'm flashing back to when I was a teenager in the 90s, and I'm thinking of all the popular Spice Girls songs that were on pop radio at the time, and I'm sitting there like, it's definitely not Wannabe. It's not Say You'll Be There, Spice Up Your Life. It's not... Never mind. And it's just the humor used in the music for this. It's so good. Like, I absolutely love what they do with this movie. And like humor wise, it's very dark. It's like there's parts of this movie that if you're watching it, you're cringing. You feel bad for these characters, especially one scene that takes place in like an elementary school bathroom stall. You're cringing a bit. Which leads me to my next point is the special effects. Again, director Michael Shanks has a background in visual effects, and he does put that talent on the screen. Some of the CGI looks a little wonky. So for background, I did see this movie the day before we went and saw Fantastic Four. By this point, me filming this review right now, I've already done the review for Fantastic Four, and I've done a ranking of the Fantastic Four movies, which you should go watch. They're also available on this channel. But one of the things I was talking about that is seeing Mr. Fantastic, Reed Richards, Pedro Pascal's character, stretch using his powers. His character stretches, and how it looks very like rubbery. There's something off about seeing like the skin of like his arm and whatnot stretch across the screen, and you get that kind of level of weird like CGI rubberiness. You get that in this movie as well. So aside from that, I know you can't be perfect because we can't actually watch like human beings trying to merge together, but the visuals are still, again, very much leaning into the comedy version of this movie, the comedy parts of this movie. I feel like that just innately is a part of it. And that made it really good. So I very much enjoy it. Even though it is cheesy, it's not like the greatest looking effect. It's still a lot of fun. And then I love the dynamic of the fact that the characters, Millie and Tim, are basically a couple, but they're having a lot of like frustrations. They definitely care for one another, but they're having a hard time just being a couple, being intimate with one another, which is funny given the premise of this movie. But like seeing that play out on the screen, I think they did really well, especially for the fact that the two actors are married to each other. They are a real life couple. So like seeing that kind of a dynamic on screen was so good. I know I'm overly gushing about this movie because I loved it so much. If you want to hear me say something negative about this movie, probably the biggest negative I could say is that the beginning of this movie is a little slow. It's a little hard to get into where we're going. We're introduced to a whole bunch of characters, and for the most part, none of the other characters matter. The only ones you really need to be focused on is Dave Franco and Alison Brie's character, but there's a bunch of other people that are just giving us exposition as to where these two characters are, that they're in a relationship, they're having like roadblocks and issues with their relationship. And all these new characters that we meet at the beginning are just there to help reinforce that. As long as you're okay with that and you don't have to actually remember who they are, you should be good to go. The other one I will say, outside of Dave Franco and Alison Brie, the other major actor in this is Damon Herriman, which you may be familiar with, especially if you've seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. He was Charles Manson in that. He's also been, he was like in some, I forgot what it was, some TV show where he also played Charles Manson. Apparently, he is your go-to if you need a Charles Manson in your project. He was also, was it like Cyrex or whatever in 2021's Mortal Kombat. So he does good roles, and he was a really good character in this. Like, there was something a little weird about his character, and just kind of like at the first when we first meet him. But as the movie goes on, I really like what he brings to this story as well. The whole story, the story in of itself is really good. It's very predictable what all happens and why it's happening, but it's just enjoying the movie and the ride that you're in. I can't talk about this movie enough. If you want something to compare to, this movie, like going back to the special effects, they do look cheesy, but it feels right at home with this movie kind of being like, feeling like it should be elevated horror, but the effects and the story of the movie play out like a very, very like indie, cheesy 80s horror movie. Something like Society and The Fly. Society is the key one. If you want any kind of a takeaway other than going to see Together based off of this review, go watch Society. It's Brian Yuzna's, I think it's maybe his directorial debut is Society. I can't remember exactly. Brian Yuzna was also involved in writing Reanimator. So he's really good. If you want some crazy off-the-wall crap in your movie, Brian Yuzna's your go-to. And when I first heard of this, the premise of this movie, Society was the first thing I thought of. And after watching Together, I was correct. So if you want a good feel, a good vibe for this movie, if you've seen Together and you want another movie to kind of enjoy that's in the same realm, go watch Society. It's fantastic. But otherwise, I feel like that's roughly my review. I mean, I feel like a little kid again. This is one of those movies that makes me just want to talk about this movie nonstop and not have like any real like critique about it. This is where I want to separate myself from being a person who enjoys watching movies versus someone who runs a YouTube channel that has got a camera turned on with a microphone on his desk talking about this movie for your watching enjoyment. So I very much love this movie. If you've seen this, let me know your thoughts down below. Is there anything you didn't like about this movie? What were your takeaways? The bathroom stall scene. I know. A lot of y'all are going to be cringing during that. I'm sorry. It's still a whole lot of fun. But yeah, let me know your thoughts down below. While you're down there, make sure you hit like and subscribe to Cinefanatics. We're having a lot of fun over here, so I am enjoying where we are at as a channel. Please come back and watch all of our other content that we have coming up, including like a review for Naked Gun. I am going to go see Weapons here like in a week or so I'll have out of theater reaction review for that. If it's a good movie, I might do a spoiler talk about it, so make sure you keep an eye out for that as well. Come follow us on social media. We're doing a lot of fun things. I just started a screenshot game where you could play along as well, so make sure you follow us at The Cinefanatics on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. You can follow me personally at RCA Reacts on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Letterboxd, and also youtube.com/@RCA Reacts. Thank you for watching this video and any of the videos that we make. We very much appreciate each and every single one of your views. Please come back. We'll see you then at that point, and y'all have a great day, evening, night, morning, whatever time you're watching this. You have a great one. Later.